getting 3D printers to work, and other fun activities like that.
That sounds like fun.
James, nothing new this week.
I'm John. I was going to be working on a Raspberry 4 until somebody bought the last one.
I didn't buy the last one.
Probably bought all of them.
Wasn't even close to the last
When was
one.
it officially released, by the way?
A couple days ago.
Yeah, you just got
I found
He was at the door, Micro Center. Wait.
Tuesday.
Yeah, it was a
Something like
couple
that.
days ago.
I
3
found it
days ago.
strange because always in the past they've done that February 29th thing.
That's their date, February
I
20th.
I mean, honestly,
happens
I
only
had a
every
feeling
4
that something
years.
was happening because Micro Center dropped the price on all the Raspberry Pi,
Yes.
all the
Oh,
previous
that's
models.
generally a
3
flag.
plus.
Yeah. So I had a feeling something was happening, but it was a couple days ago. Go ahead.
I'm Mike, I'm here.
Ditto.
So you knew it was coming, just...
I had a feeling something
Feeling
was coming. I
because
just
they
didn't know what.
discounted it.
Yeah, they had it in the paper or a magazine or something 2 or 3 months ago back.
Just like
But
Amazon.
that was April 1st.
Amazon
Yeah.
Day,
It's a
whole different thing.
July
Yes.
15th.
It's Marcus. Okay, keep going.
I'm Kenny. I'm
We
here.
were supposed to
He's
skip you.
present. Okay, present, he's present.
I'm Marcus. Hello.
What are you doing? Anything going on, Marcus?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody gave me homework. I'll talk about it later.
He has homework.
I had homework.
Oh, you gave him an assignment?
I did.
You did.
Okay.
We're
Well,
going,
we'll see.
we're going to find out about his homework in a.
Do
in
we
a few
grade
weeks.
him or what?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm Jim, and this week I did 2 things, actually more. One of them was I had the motorcycle headlight to put more light on my cars that go by. Now I mounted 3 of them. If you can put me up.
So you got 3 motorcycles.
So this is in order to, your cameras will
Get more light
Brighter
on the
picture.
And I did have a car pull into the driveway at midnight, right after midnight on the 26th. And the
Yeah.
difference was I could get a slightly better view of the car going by, but it's a black car and their particular, or dark car, particularly bad. But as it was leaving, it kicked on my 5 megapixel camera and it was in the color mode because it sees more light.
yeah.
And I got a good color of the car. I thought it was black because the cameras go black and white mode, infrared.
Yeah, of course.
So I did get a little more information that it was blue.
You're not casting,
Oh,
or if you are casting, you're not doing
Doing
it
it
to me.
Okay, let's see if I can cast it.
You got a backlash.
It's contained.
Oh, you don't see. Oh, there we go. There we go.
There we go. Maybe. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Okay.
So those are just 3 motorcycle headlights, LEDs. They're about 12 volt at 1 amp. The 2 metal ones on the outside, those little puppies get pretty warm. They're not going to burn you, but you'll think about it. The little plastic one was the first one I got.
So this is over a window or over a front door?
Garage door.
That's a garage
door.
door.
Garage door.
Yeah,
Okay.
good thing we don't have a homeowner association.
It just blind them when they look
Yes.
into it.
How far is the end of the driveway from that?
100 feet. Let's
So how does
see.
the light radiate?
These are more spotlight type. It looks, it's very
So that's
Columnated.
columnated. So it's pretty focused. There is, there they are.
Yeah.
So is someone could get blinded like deer in headlights if they're up too close?
Every day when I come home, you know.
I found the deer.
this only goes on after dark.
They're actually on all the time right now, and in fact, I ran into a problem turning them on because the 2 new ones are on the same 12 volt power supply.
Yeah.
Okay, and what happens is when they come on, one of them fires first,
Mm-hmm.
and it's random. And what you do with these headlights, if you want to go to dim, you can push the button. If you wanted to blink, like an emergency, you can push the button.
Mm-hmm.
They go in the blinker mode. One of them will go in the blinker mode.
Why do you want them on all the time?
Right now, I can't turn the two off.
So two that are toasty?
Yeah, I'll put them on. Yeah, because one of them will go in the blinker mode when it comes back on. It's random. So I gotta probably break off the power supply and do a light. I've got a light switch for it.
Okay.
It sounds like the power supply doesn't get quite enough oomph for it.
Yeah, probably startup current or something. It's a 2 amp camera power supply, rated 2 amps. It should handle it, but
That's close. Yeah, I'm Steve. Nothing major going on. I ordered 2 Raspberry Pi 4s.
New one's good.
So you're saying that the demand now is artificial, or
No, it's not
Hey,
artificial.
it's
I
a
want
deer.
mine.
It's a deer butt.
There's a deer.
oh, those are the trail cam.
You got any, Steve? You got any application for your Raspberry Pis?
Look how cute.
Not yet.
Aw.
Just want to play with the new ones, huh?
Little
Yeah.
fawn.
Uh,
Cute little.
Yours has spots.
Oh, there's 2 little fawns.
oh.
Our little one doesn't have any spots.
Go ahead, Mr. Art.
Okay, well,
LEDs you can have.
one of the things I've been working on with the help of Cincinnati Bell is attempting to get my wireless network more reliable, since I've got about 25 connections on it, and I monitor it when I'm in California, cameras and so forth and so on. It's kind of important that it work. So here's the problem. The cheapo router that they provide, a Zycel router,
Yeah.
is to say it would be polite to say that it's unreliable. Okay? So the solution to this I found on Amazon is a gizmo which I connect to my router, and if it loses connectivity to a designated URL, it cycles the power to one or both of these outlets. And it's all programmable. In other words, I can put whatever URL I want in. I can put either something on my local area network that says, you lost connection with one of your servers. I'm going to power cycle the router, assuming that the router is the bad guy in this situation. Costs about $100. Very, very handy. Works very reliably. That's the good news. So this thing works fine. The router, not so much. It turns out that simply power cycling it doesn't always fix the problem. As a matter of fact, I would say that it's kind of like a batting average, okay? Batters don't hit 1,000. They don't even hit 500. This thing probably works about 20 to 25% of the time. A 250 batter is a pretty good batter, right? So, at any rate, that's what I've been working on. You have a Ethernet connection, goes to your router, power goes to the power line, and you can program these things independently. So you can put one on your modem, one on your router. Of course, with the Cincy Bell Zycel, the two are combined, so you can't separate them out. So that's what I've been working on.
What's that called?
What's this called?
Remotely activated light switch.
Well, I just happen to have the guide here.
And it's $100?
Router.
About $100, yeah.
About $100.
That's not so bad.
So,
if you need it.
do you
Cheaper to
read
get a
what
better
that
grade
says?
router, wouldn't it?
They don't want
He takes his glasses off, I put my glasses on.
You don't have to use it though,
It's a UIS 522B.
and then they can't charge
Oh,
you the
that
$5
tells
a
you.
month.
No, but
I should add an E8. That would have never.
Their
Sure.
system I'm using.
for $100, I mean, this
They
this,
don't even have a good name for it, but it's
This-
$100.
well, for $100,
Yeah.
This-
How'd you find out about it since it doesn't have a name?
well, no, I was YouTube
Okay.
and then going through all of the comments on Amazon.
Gotcha.
You know, this thing's a POS, this thing works great, and so forth and so on. You got to figure out who the good reviewers are. I mean, there are some that couldn't figure out how to work a matchbook. I mean, it's
Yeah.
But
I
in any
can't
case,
find the name.
highly recommend. Works very well, assuming that power cycling the router is going to fix the problem. If it's not going to fix the problem, then
This is, your router is a digital router, it's a digital device, or is it a analog signal? What would they say, is it fiber?
MSN switch. wouldn't it?
no, it is not fiber. It's
Okay.
DSL line,
Okay.
and
These-
it's a DSL modem and then a router after that.
They don't let you get your own router.
Yeah,
You can, yes.
and I'd recommend it. Plus, it'll knock, I think, $8 off your bill each month. You can just take it back to the Cincinnati Bell store. I have an ASUS router hooked up to my Cincinnati Bell line.
But
And
what,
I
but
haven't
what do you use
rebooted
for the
it.
modem?
I use their modem, but I've got Fioptics. But I
No, I
tossed
wouldn't.
out that
Inside.
router that they,
Yeah.
that Zeiss.
The POS model, right?
Yeah.
They have routers with the DSL built into them.
Yeah,
So
the
I
one
can,
that,
I
the
can
one that
buy
I
a, I
have
can buy my own
is a
router.
router with a DSL built in.
Oh,
Which-
okay.
Or I
Can
can
I get a
shut
list
off
of
the
routers
routing part. I can shut
I'd
off the
do that.
Right,
HCP and
Steve.
so forth and so on.
Sounds like he's already done it.
But the bottom line is, I cannot separate the
Yeah,
modem
I
from the
didn't know what it
router,
was.
So,
They didn't.
but if I did
Got
that,
it off an
then
auction for like
you would
nothing, so.
put an ASUS or some
They had a
other
picture
kind
of the
router
back and
on
said it
it.
was an HDMI
I'm
backpack. I
really
didn't
happy with
any
my
clue what it was,
ASUS.
so I was like, oh, what the hell for a
Yeah,
quarter?
I have an ASUS in California, but not here. At any rate, that's what I'm doing. And the other thing is, you expressed some interest in,
Mhm.
you know, ham radios, so I brought something along to.
You're up.
I'm Roy. I haven't been here in a while. One of the times I came in here, you guys mentioned LoRa networking. I was searching around on that a little bit. Figured on making some sensors with the travel. Mostly I'm consumed with my day job, and it's not very interesting.
Your day job's not very interesting?
Well, it's too detailed.
Did you see something on Sony or somebody having a LoRa like
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere.
15-mile, 5-mile something?
It's still on here.
I thought it was 50 kilometers.
LiDAR.
About 30 miles, yeah.
Did you see it? I didn't.
No, I thought I knew it was with Google LiDAR or whatever.
A couple.
It's 50
a couple.
kilometers usually LoRa range.
We didn't get his name.
Yeah. We're,
Yeah, yeah.
Is it further
So-
down?
no, I got rid of it. It's a couple weeks ago I put it in there.
I'm Barry. I've gotten, since the last meeting, horrifically addicted to LED lighting. So I just installed the third one this morning. And I've got about 5 more in the boxes I have bought.
Size, 100 watt?
That's the ones I've installed so far. I've replaced the bypass the ballast and put in LED tube
Oh,
lights.
okay.
Yeah.
Two.
And then I've got like 3 6-inch LED cans or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
a couple spotlights. And they're pretty neat. It's kind of fun.
So you eliminated the ballast.
Hmm?
You eliminated the old ballast.
Yeah. The bulbs that are out now for like $8, you just bypass them. Neutral L on it was labeled, one side L, one side neutral, and
What's the life on them, you know?
the guy that I got them off of told me that they should be at least 12 years or better. The
100% duty cycle, or?
72,000 hours.
Okay.
So
Way up there.
one of the 6 inches I've got says 45 years at 3 hours a day for like a living room light or something, or kitchen.
You want to report back on that?
Yeah.
All right.
Let you know if it holds up.
I've been surprised at how many of my 20-year light bulbs are dead.
Yeah.
I
Some of the
have
early
found
LEDs were
when
really
I buy them, I take a magic marker and write on the base because I never remember
No.
Yeah, I
I've
did
done
that
some that
with
really
CFLs also. Because those things,
Junk.
The CFLs, I found one that just exactly, we had one that we left on, and it was about a year, and sure enough, a year, it was gone. And that was 100% duty cycle there.
Let's
I was surprised.
let's swing back around because we had.
Couple
It's your,
people
it's your
from-
turn to introduce yourself and say what you're working on, or if you're working, or what you're interested in, or.
Okay, I've been receiving these emails about the group, and I intended to come, but I travel quite often, so I'm not in town usually on Thursdays. So I take the advantage today to be here and know what you discuss and see if it's of interest. I'm a hobbyist. I work quite a bit with Raspberry Pis. I've been fortunate that in the last 2 years, there was a reorganization in my company. I was moved to a new place where basically I joined my hobby with my work. So I had the opportunity to play more at work.
Nice.
Very nice.
And the last project I did involved a Raspberry Pi that we connected to a ultrasonic airspeed sensor to make very precise airspeed measurements in industrial environments, especially paint booth where the cars are painted in automotive manufacturing. And the results has been great. So we can measure with a precision of 0.01 meters per second, and literally from 0 meters per second of speed up to 60 meters per second, which is more than enough for that application. So a very interesting project, and the Raspberry Pi did a great job.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Ivan Maldonado.
Well,
Have you filled out an app, Ivan?
No, it's my very first time showing up here.
Cool. You working on anything new, Jeremy?
Not at the moment.
That's Jeremy.
Oh,
Frank's here.
Frank?
He's got
The
something.
late Frank that we just completely overlooked.
I have one thing here that's the old thing, and I was hoping Jim might have some insight. I have 4 of these Lorex cameras, and these are the ones that are wireless, and use the BNC connector with receiver. And the question is, are these receivers, because the camera went out, so I bought another camera, but are the receivers matched to the
You have a
camera?
use for it?
I don't even know if it works yet.
What are the
You want
specs
it?
on the receiver?
Yeah.
You don't know?
Well, I don't know
I
right
can
now.
always use another screen.
The one I had,
Oh, yeah?
it was just working when it stopped. Actually just froze.
The receiver?
Hey, the price is
No,
right.
no, the camera, the camera. Yeah.
Those should be pretty cheap, right?
This is actually an old one, and it's actually expensive.
Oh,
But I got it from eBay. They didn't have the receiver; they just had the camera.
okay.
Just
Is BNC?
it's got a a set-top box that you can connect to a display.
RJ, the screw-on connector?
Yeah, scroll camera.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
those receivers, and I was wondering if you just knew it, are the receivers and the cameras matched, or are they just general kind of things?
I don't know.
Is there any kind of reset button or anything on both?
On the camera and the receiver box?
There's no, no.
Who made the camera?
Lorex.
Okay.
They're probably a standard. They're probably standard CCTV signal
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
But I haven't
You-
played with those.
Yeah, I've got an old set, and it pretty much worked. There was like 4 different channels that it worked on, but it's pretty much a standard.
Okay. So it really should work.
So 5 cameras and it's broken.
Yeah, pretty
Each
much.
camera doesn't have a separate receiver, they all go to the same box.
No, each one's got a separate receiver.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're
go up to.
you're probably just gonna have to play around
yeah.
until you find what channel it's actually on there.
Yeah, I was trying not to do that.
Sorry.
Who wants to play Name That Connector?
Name that.
I also got a ESP32 that I got in the mail from Amazon. Haven't done anything with it,
Amphenol.
but Leroy's been talking about it forever. So, and I've done a lot of stuff with the ESP82.
I didn't get a very good picture of it, I guess, but
This was nice because it's breadboard and plug your wires right into it.
about the size of a thumb.
So I'll be playing with
It's
this in the
used
coming
on a
weeks.
lot of cars.
And I just got a new
LED
Lord Vader shirt.
headlight.
All right.
Spotlight.
Everybody thank Frank.
Keep the sun on you.
That's right, that goes with the shirt.
I guess with the shirt.
Yeah.
No,
It's
only if
mandatory.
you only if you
Mandatory.
have some suspender socks. Okay, so anybody got something other than what we've already said to share?
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about what we talked about, or
Yes, I can do that if I can get connected up. Let me see, let me cost myself.
your homework assignment this week?
Yeah. Wow, weird. Are you seeing me?
I am.
Good. Wow. That's usual. Takes it off of me.
There's even a label on it. They're getting way too fancy there.
Oh,
Yeah, something died here though. Don't get too excited yet.
First picture's
That's
good, the
right,
rest
that's
of
right.
it's...
Let's put that one. I'll just leave that one there.
he actually did more than what I.
Yeah. So anyway, what we've been trying to do, we've been going back and forth on trying to replace Google Plus. And the issue is that we need a public facing something or other so that people can just come into our site or whatever and sort of get an idea of what we do, right? So we've been, going back and forth. And the other issue is that we want something that we can sort of communicate with, something like a discussion forum, for example.
And make
also,
it easy.
Yeah, and also a way to post projects, for example. So we, I think last week I know that this is how I got the homework assignment, I'm sure, because the two things that were put up on the table said I didn't like either one of them because we had to put our cell phone number in to actually use it, and then it was more sort of like a chatting type thing. It's like, I don't want to chat with you. I was going to post and leave. So anyway, so I got an email last week that said, hey, why don't you look at Wix? And I thought, I've looked at Wix before. However,
An upturn to that voice.
yes, exactly. It is actually. And just to not just sort of, I'm gonna walk through it a little bit, but what I found is actually pretty compelling. It turns out is that, and one of the things that was mentioned, that they have a capability of blogging. So therefore, you can put things out there. You can have events, which is our schedule. What's the next meeting. They also have something that's pretty cool, forums.
Yep.
And that forum seems pretty open. Again, this is a real light overview of it. I spent a few hours on it when it went to YouTube, of course, and looked at a few videos.
Internet of Things.
Yes, looked at a few things on YouTube to see
Yeah, well, I set up something very similar, only I didn't customize it at all because we have gone through and
Right.
discussed everything, and I
Ditched it.
set stuff up, and then I just kind of was like, check this out, see what you think.
And what I
So-
actually did, and I actually looked at the points that I thought were sticklers. The fact that can we have some type of event structure that says, okay, here's when the next meeting, here's when the next meeting, here's what's going to be on the next meeting agenda. That was number one. Number two was the forum, being able to have an open forum. Number three is to allow public facing. In other words, to not have to, you don't have to log in to necessarily start to sort of scroll through. And that's how I found the group. I mean, I just went through, if I had to log into something and then, put my name in it and go register, I probably wouldn't be here. Because it was just, because
You're intrusive.
yeah, what it is, I don't want to, until I know why I'm giving my credentials, I don't want to give them. So anyway, let me sort of walk through what I found. Again, this is real rough. If anyone has played around with Wix, let me know. Everything I've read, I went through and read on it and saw on YouTube. It seems to have potential. Now it's not total. It's not total. All in, all done. Like most of the things we do, we have to go through and customize some of the stuff. But it seems to be even from a login standpoint, like the members. And I don't know, the network seems to be a little slow, so it might not show. I may have to talk through some of it. But basically, what this would show is actually everyone that's actually given their email. Now, I logged in with two different email accounts, and when I was at home, they showed up. Now, they're not showing up here for whatever reason.
Because you're not logged in.
No, I tried that too. No, I don't have to log in. I don't have to log in to get the members. It still should show the members. Oh, no, wait a minute.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
You have to log in to see the
Let's
members.
see. Okay, maybe you're right. Let me see. I tried that earlier. It did not work.
Yeah, that was actually one thing that I
Yeah,
sort of liked.
And I've tried it several times.
Because
It
you still have some privacy, but not complete privacy.
What is it?
Okay, so this would be, this is basically the homepage, standard homepage. Now, what normally would come up here is all of the previous meetings. That would be the latest news, and upcoming events would be, our schedule, basically. And again, when I was at home, it all showed up. And for some reason, it says server IP address could not be found. Why? I have no idea at this point. So, but again, it did work at home. So the about them, again, I'm just going to run through. And again, all of this can be customized. I just took our standard blurb and popped it in there. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. The blog part of it, again, that would be controlled probably by either Grant Kuba or Leroy. And again, what this stuff is, I have no idea. But again, I put some information in there, and it again at home it showed up. This standard stuff down here just shows up on every page. But
Is this thing free?
yes,
Yeah.
it is free.
If it's free, it's for me.
It is free. It is free. Of course, they have upgrade capability, but I don't think we would need that at all. So let's see if the events are going to show up. Yes, the events show up. Okay. Are we having a meeting next week?
Oh, I think the library's closed.
The library's closed, so we're closed. How about that?
Probably no meeting next week.
Yeah, so I did put that. So these are the meetings. So you can go in and again, we can get rid of the register button. That was just, that came in free, so I've left it there. But you can get rid of the register button. And you can also open that up and get a little more information on it. So again, this is, it's real simple to manage. The form, hopefully that will show up. Yes, good. Okay, the form, just like any other standard form. If you have to be logged into the system, of course, to create another topic, to start a new form. But again, it seems to work pretty easy, just like any other standard form that you've been on. So, like you said, I played with it a little bit. The next step would be to just Actually, I think the next step would be for you to create something real for, for ATC, and then we can start to play with it a little more.
You will let you store files?
Yes. Let me see. Let's see. Let me see if I got that. I'm sure that's an image of one of these.
Do they allow you to store files?
Yep.
Yeah, and also, we always have a problem with being able to, bring images in, so it's
Store text to us. Can you just paste text in it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh,
oh, for
yeah.
sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah, and the images, I put another image in there. Let me see what it is.
Yeah, the picture showed up.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's the one. That was actually
Cool. Just
yeah.
paste it in there?
Just paste it in there.
Don't have to do an
Actually,
attachment?
no. I think I couldn't copy and paste it, and I had to actually go to the
Image.
file system and bring it up from the file system.
Okay.
So
That's okay.
It was still easy.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was still a piece of cake, though. Yeah, and it allows you to it has like different levels when you're pasting it in. I could have had it bigger, larger. I mean, it gives you. It's not allowing you to adjust the magnification sort of automatic. I mean, or from it has basically some standard steps. 50%, 100%, blah blah. It's not like you can do 37%.
And it's also mobile friendly. So,
Yes.
So
very-
it
very good
resizes
stuff.
your website
Yeah.
as needed, or if needed, or in between needed.
Yeah, so I mean, again, I won't go to contacts and all that stuff, but again, I think, I was very skeptical at first, but I think, we've been looking pretty hard for something that would be simple to maintain and also under one roof. For example, I mean, we've talked several times about having two different, one public facing and then another utility for us to all do discussions and post projects and things like that. So if we can all get it together, we'd be awesome.
Ray's here.
Ranger.
Ray.
Everybody's
Wow.
Who opened the door today? Oh, there you go.
So this is the one that I created that I showed him.
Where's your? No, I know. Yeah, exactly.
The network's way too slow.
Yeah.
Copyright
Can you find
2023.
content, you may have said it.
2023.
Can you find content from Google? You had content from this site. Would you be able to find it from Google, or do you have to log in to see it?
Well, what do you mean?
Yes,
You can
yes,
link it, you
yes.
can link
Find
it.
it on the internet search.
Yeah. Can
You-
you find it on?
And we decided that wasn't essential. If we can just get a blog room.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Yeah, if you go through. Yeah, of course you can. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you can set that. You can actually set up
When-
your key words for for the search engine optimization. So
Your
according-
tags.
Yeah.
You could keyword.
Yeah, if you put matter of fact, yeah, if you put like Westchester Automation Club, you'll I mean that's one way. You definitely that would be at the top of the list.
One of the things that you were asking about file sharing. So I actually turned that on the site that I designed that is just a blank slate.
Nice.
I did not put any time at all into this thing. But there you can add files. I think I have to log in to actually add a file, but one of the things that I thought was interesting with the forms that you're talking about is how you can create dynamic content from the form. Meaning, if it would come up.
Welcome to the library, non-wired.
So anyway, it's not coming up. So you've got your form data, and you fill it out, and then another separate page gets populated by whatever is on the form data. So you could actually set your form, a private form up for like the admin to make the meeting notices, and then it would update on the meeting notice page or
What
whatever.
do they call those management?
Yep.
It's like a document management system that actually feeds. So you have
It's
feed.
actually pretty powerful.
Yeah, Yeah. So
But you can design your form to be anything.
and that would help maybe Jim so when he wants to do the scheduling, as opposed, and also what we would try to do is implement in your, when you create your, the document that you use that you put out just before the meeting, Jim, maybe we can integrate that in. I would think that would be another thing we want to check out.
Well, one of the things with, one of the things with Meetup is it projects out. You put a form up, it projects it out
Right.
in the future, and when you're gonna have a meeting where and all that stuff, and rolls it up, and millions of people look at that.
Right, and I think
That's what
Meetup stays. I mean,
There he is,
Skylight.
there's an example right there, Meetup.
yeah, you have
And if
to.
it was on Wix, he would see it.
No, not, and I think you have to keep the Meetup. I mean, and you still have to do
Yeah.
that, but hopefully they may even have a way.
Meetup has an API, and I can pull everything in through the API. So
Cool.
Jim just needs to update one thing, and
Right. That's where we want to go.
Cool.
I've already
Thought about him, huh? You know what's coming, right?
no, I already knew I already knew that we can't get rid of Meetup,
Yeah.
but it would be nice if it was actually on our site as well, or on a site as well.
So
And
where do we go from
it's
here?
been too slow.
Where do we go from here?
You get to design it now that you played around.
So
You've been elected as the resident expert.
I started using a new tool the other
And-
day, Postman. It's kind of interesting. It's a
Post-
replacement for curl. If you want to do web API calls and stuff. It's
Oh,
pretty
okay.
savvy.
I use that to test a lot of APIs.
Postman.
Excellent.
Oh, Postman, yeah, to test them. Yeah, I use Postman too.
Okay.
It's a pretty cool tool. It's free. At least there's a free level to it.
Is it,
If you're familiar with curl, it's like a wrapper on top of that.
okay.
Also, you can
But
save.
you
It's really
can
nice
write
to
some
save
JavaScript to parse out the results and feed them forward into your next call.
And then you'll actually see what it actually would look like if you were doing
It
it.
still work. Yes.
Yeah. I usually just sit there and play with it until it gets to be the way I want it. But, okay.
Okay.
Oh, so
So I need whatever email address you're going to use and blah blah.
Yeah,
set
I
up an
think-
account. You already got the account. Is that account set up for
no,
ATC?
no. That's my own.
Right.
So I think we'll probably maybe set up just an account just for the group and make a website that way.
Right.
But
Can you,
I didn't. I did not put a whole. You put way more
Yeah.
time into it than.
Yeah, I would say I put about 2 to 3 hours into
Yeah,
just the play.
I put. Here's a site.
Yeah, and so when you actually create the site, you just went to the what was it?
One of the template.
Yeah,
So-
right. Yeah, I think it was a basic template.
Yeah.
And I went to a template which was actually one of the community templates, but it allowed me still a lot of latitude
Yeah.
and modify.
Yeah.
Being particularly lazy, did you guys email a link to what you set up?
We will.
We'll put a link in the meeting announcement, or Leroy will.
I can.
And
If
that's
you
the way we
email me
distribute it. And
your
then you
website.
look at it hot, you can go to the meeting announcement and say go to the meeting announcement, and you'll see what he puts up there.
I can do that.
And
It's.
and
I mean.
I'll speak out of turn a little bit. I'm not sure if we're there yet, because this is
But when it happens.
yeah. Oh yeah. Right now.
Oh well, yeah.
this is-
When it definitely happens, everybody's
yeah.
gonna know what it is.
Oh, you'll definitely know it then. But
Well, I mean, look,
This is like a work in progress.
yeah.
I would like to look at the work in progress just so I have
Oh.
some idea of what.
Okay. Once we start the actual progress of pushing out the actual, because this is under my personal email. His is under his personal email, but we want to have an email that's under ATC. So, yeah.
And here's what I ask, because I have to hunt for it. I'm too damn lazy to do it.
Aren't we all pretty much? All right.
Always go to.
I prefer to think we're really busy.
We're really busy.
Yeah,
But the
check-
reality is, it's a
Check
lot
the
simpler
meeting,
than
check
that.
the meeting announcements, because he's done several that show up in the meeting announcements if you want to try them. And also you get to see the robot
I thought
show
about
that comes
WordPress.
on Friday at 8
whatever
o'clock.
package you want. You just gotta
What the heck's
Yeah.
the name of the
I-
show?
BattleBots.
BattleBots is 8 o'clock Friday.
Me and Jim talked about Blogspot, Blogspace, whatever the Google equivalent is, and then I thought about WordPress, and then I don't know why I thought Wix, but suddenly it clicked in my brain that Wix did all this, and I tried it, and I was like, okay, this seems easy enough to set up instead of having. See, you can log yourself in. I don't need to add you. Like on the WordPress and the Blogspot, I would have to add everybody's email in here to blog
Looks
on
good.
our spot.
You have to build a self
Yes.
account creator or import a add a
I
plugin.
didn't see an easy way to do that.
That's the WordPress. It's all here. It is. Here's all the modules. You got to plug in which modules you want and then link them into your page.
I didn't see a
Yeah. So, but
I didn't
that's-
see a good way to do that, and it was just a piece of cake with.
Yeah, actually, when I did a login of 2 different email addresses, it just, I mean, I was looking for somewhere to say, okay, it's okay. But once I did that, I was basically in. So I guess you can have a sort of unrestricted. All they have to do is, where the email address goes, it goes into the member place, and basically.
Yeah,
they
I'm
have
not even
access.
sure that it shows up anywhere. I think
Yeah,
I'm not even sure that I have a list.
Yeah.
Because I did the same thing. I
Yeah.
set 2 or 3.
Now it did show up in the members.
Okay.
As the members, it showed up as
Right.
it showed up as a member. And so you
But I don't
could-
know if the admin actually can
Yeah.
see your email address or anything.
Right. Oh, it definitely can't see the password of whatever password
Yeah.
you use. It definitely can't see that.
Right. But
So, now the way this could become populated is each individual would self-enroll.
yeah,
So it eliminates people who are currently on the list but haven't been here in,
well, it would eliminate those people. It would eliminate people that just don't want to actually post or ask questions or whatever,
okay?
because you would have to sign up to post or ask a question. So
Yeah.
it should
right.
it should bring everybody who actually wants to contribute the ability to contribute.
Right. And that's just for the forums. Keep in mind, I mean, for the forums. But if they just want to go in and browse, they can go in. Anybody
Yeah,
can go in and browse.
you don't-
If they find the site.
You don't actually need, like, I'm not logged in, and you don't actually need to be logged in to go. And we're being slow again. Like the forum, I'm not logged in, but I could go and read them. Oh, that's the files. There it is. There's nothing here. That's because that's true.
You
There's
didn't
nothing
write
there.
anything.
What's there to stop trolls?
Well, the admin can still kick people out.
And they just roll up a new account.
Before it's too late?
Well, probably right after it's too late.
Attack.
Yeah, just to keep
And this
people from
happens to
dumping
suppose
mass
somebody attacked
quantities
your
of-
site and they just added in a trillion
I mean,
logins.
I was watching my server the other night. I just couldn't believe every 30 seconds I was getting somebody trying to put in usernames and passwords to the root directory on my QNAP, and I was just like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" And it's every 30 seconds, every minute.
Well, as far as I know, you're still logging into Wix, so I guess Wix is handling all
it's
that.
like, yeah. I mean, they.
Well, you can set it up whether it requires moderation or not. And then you just, every user is moderated until they've made 3 posts or something.
Should be.
Honestly, I'm interested in any public, any like net-facing blogging is going to be getting login requests from us. Just assume that's going to happen.
Yeah.
My server's not. That's my data server. That's not a web server.
Yeah, but if
Data
it's
server.
if that endpoint's exposed,
You
you
should-
should expect that to happen.
You should put that behind a VPN.
It's
Obviously
behind
not.
it's behind a router and some other stuff.
If people can get to it to log in, then it's available outside.
Well,
Somebody knocking on it. There's
You can
somebody.
knock on the door. We can't get in.
Yeah, I mean,
It's,
as long as you're working,
they all
as
do
long as it's
brute
working.
force password attacks and stuff. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
You
So
really
it-
should
it-
have it behind the VPN.
Should be behind at least something.
I'll read how to do that later.
Somebody's knocking on it. They're on your network.
I'll gladly help you with it.
That's just a blog post. Simple. Nothing to see here. It's a picture
Pretty cool.
of a thing.
Blue.
So, all right. Motion carried. Let's move.
All right, what I'll do just for kicks, I'll just put some framework together so we did get the menu items together.
Did you see inside the overall Wix admin you can actually transfer your site to somebody else?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So-
Exactly. Yeah. I won't transfer this, but I because I see, you know, we sort of got to understand what functionality we want. You know, I don't want to just.
Yeah, well, I'm just playing around.
Yeah, I know, but I see things that, you know, like gallery, things like, okay, so do we really want a gallery, or does something else utilize for gallery? The gallery just pictures, and do what we do, you know. So just, you know, we'll figure it out. I'll shoot an email. I'll start an email around and start to figure out what the functionality is. It's hard.
So, how do we set up an account on Wix,
Mhm.
right? Step one.
Right.
How do we identify ourselves with the automation group?
Oh, you will, once we get the site set up, you will basically just go log in. You'll go in, it'll say, you know, create account. We'll give
you can see it,
we'll give you
create
the URL, and you'll go create your account.
See right.
So basically, we won't be logging into Wix.com. We will
No,
be logging into
Yeah.
whatever the URL is.
Exactly.
you
Right
guys
here.
create.
Right.
It works like any other site.
Right there, you click that, you log
Okay.
in.
Okay, got it.
Don't use the top two.
Don't use the top.
So at this point, you could not join what you've already done because those are your personal sites.
Well,
Well, no, you actually can
You
join
actually
them.
could if I gave you the URL.
Oh, okay.
You actually could.
Yeah.
You actually could join those right now.
They're up there in the corner. If you just
Yeah.
Yeah,
Copy that down.
just
Go join
just
it.
remember that's probably going to go
Exactly.
away.
That was my next point. It's probably going to go away.
Kind of interesting.
So when you join in, are you just like a
So
guest
like literally
account,
call my
a
home
member
phone.
account? It's not putting you as an admin account, is it?
Oh,
Microsoft's doing the same stuff. I installed a computer yesterday.
Even if you go to like
Office,
RabbitLazyUSA.com or
like-
Rabbit Robots, you can create an account,
Yeah.
join in
Crap.
as
Big Brother's
a purchasing member or a
alive.
non-purchasing
Well,
member
they
or
didn't
whatever.
used to have that
a couple
interface on
types
installing
of
the
groups.
computer. You used to be able to
And
set
you
it
can
up,
elect that, hey, I want
join
to
it
start
on the
getting
domain or something, but now you have to log into
newsletters,
the
or I want to
Microsoft
look at my
account.
previous purchase
That's right.
history. Is it the same thing?
Yeah,
You
as soon as
leave
I
More-
did it.
more or less.
Email accounts anymore. with
More or
that
less.
Cell phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man.
Actually, I think if you do log into Wix, if you're joined one of these accounts, I think it shows up on one of the pages inside of
Oh,
Wix too.
okay.
Doesn't that sign
Cut
in with
down
Google?
on
Does that mean
500
if I
accounts.
try to connect to it and I'm on Google logged in, that it'll log me in automatically to it?
You could, yeah.
Business.
You can use Google.
Gmail.
Yeah, and the only thing that, you
Yeah,
know,
I create all these
that's
accounts
from
on
your
there.
standpoint.
Yeah.
The problem is when you use those, they're actually collecting all that additional information that you're doing. I mean, that's why they want to do it. They're aggregate.
Ah.
So it's just another way for them to get more information about what you're actually doing. So you're actually going to Wix. So now Google also knows that you went to Wix, and you know, so they have that information also.
Google
So-
knows anyway.
Yeah, I know they know
Yeah.
anyway. True, that's true. It's just
Stop
I,
using Google.
Yes, you can, but no, you shouldn't.
right, exactly. That's the I never. Somebody actually
Google
said that.
salary is now
Somebody actually said that.
$246,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Barry said don't use the top
Oh,
two.
Barry said that. Yeah, I never did.
The security lady that
VPN.
taught our course said don't even use Chrome. It doesn't use any encryption at all. It, like uses SHA on DES 3 or something. Nothing on it isn't crackable. I just find that very disturbing for as big as Google is. That
Yeah.
it says Firefox actually uses AS256 and SHA 512. But
That is kind of interesting. But, okay. Anyway,
So this is a work in progress.
Oh, it's very much a work in progress.
Just
Looking
started.
good though. It's
And
looking
and and
He's got it, and he's
It's
gonna
got a
have
lot
it taken
more
care of by
promise
next
than
week.
we had 2 weeks ago.
and you're right. The reason
got
why
2
you got
weeks
the
to have
email
it.
was because you said that you didn't like our other two choices.
That's
That's
fair.
right.
That's fair.
You never complain.
That's fair. I knew it when it came. I knew I put a target on my back when I said those two.
Yuck, yeah.
That's okay though.
So
Actually, Vicente is in Spain right now, and he's used Telegram and WhatsApp a couple of times to talk to me from Spain. So, I mean, it works.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting, you know.
It does work.
So you're gonna have this ready to fly by 2 weeks from now when we have our next meeting? I'm just asking.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got all day next week.
Yeah, you
You
got
don't
all.
have to come to the meeting Thursday.
You got.
That's right.
Oh, that's
What
2
are
weeks.
your
Yeah.
roadblocks?
One of my roadblocks. Well, I always say time is the enemy. Okay, there you go.
Did-
Time is the enemy.
If you don't have time to do it, I can.
Oh, I mean, it's again. Let's not. I
Why are we
mean,
closed next week?
July 4th.
yeah, next week it'll come.
July
But
4th was.
The library's not open.
yeah,
A week from today is July 4th.
Right.
Ray doesn't know what day it
He's
is.
traveling so much he doesn't even know.
Ray just
as
knows
far
it's
as far as
Thursday,
Ray
he's here.
knows, it's
He's on an airplane somewhere.
yeah. As far as he knows, he's in Hawaii right now. It's
It's supposed to be. They got pushed off.
No, yeah, don't. Let's. I mean, that's not.
let's email.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get it together. I mean, but we don't have to rush. It didn't have to be ready. I mean, we've been fighting this issue for 6 months on trying to come up with something since Google Plus, and if it takes us a month to get something going or 2 months to get something going, it is just let's get it.
Right to the first one.
These things take time. That's right. That's right.
So now,
No.
will you? Yeah. So now, you will be moving all the legacy stuff to the new site?
Probably not.
That's not
Probably
much
not.
lag in that
So
legacy.
anything we have
There's not
posted
much
there in the
there.
way of projects and so forth and so on just disappears.
No, the legacy stuff is most of the legacy stuff is still on Google. Is on has already been ported over into like Google Docs or Google Drive,
Yeah.
and that was a pain. So we're probably not going to try to move stuff yet again, and it's going to be safe in Google Drive.
So the legacy,
Well,
so the
they didn't do like a
legacy stuff's going to stay where it
We may be
is.
able to link to it.
We probably could build some
We
links.
can link to it. We can link to.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
it should have made a WAD file that you can just, or a cabinet you can just download. That's
I
what it
have
did on
like 3
mine.
things in my Google Docs, and it repeatedly said, "We can't do this. Sorry, try again."
Really? Mine worked fine. It
Really?
Put all mine in a thing and let me dump it.
It was a little bit of a pain, but
Hmm.
we got.
I don't have much on
I
mine.
do have a copy of the legacy Google Plus stuff as well, and that if we could import it, I will. But that stuff may or may not ever be seen again.
So I can almost certainly recursively read it and turn it into flat HTML if you want it.
That's what somebody else came up with a tool that did it, and I ran it through, and some of it worked and some of it didn't.
Yeah.
So things like the meeting videos and so forth will just stay where they are.
Oh
now.
yeah.
So-
They're perfectly fine until YouTube or until Google says we're getting rid of YouTube, which I don't ever see them
I don't
doing.
think that's going to happen in my
BBC
lifetime.
likes selling everybody's data too much.
We go round robin exclusive.
We already done did that. You missed
You
it.
missed that.
Okay, Ray. Who are you and what are you doing?
I'm Ray.
I'm Ray.
Who's
I
on
just showed
first?
up. I play with robots. I'm interested in automation. I play with lasers.
We already knew that. So what's new?
Yeah, but I just tell people I don't recognize.
That guy's name is Ivan.
Ivan. Ivan, how are you? Why are you here?
I was curious to know about the club, and I've been trying to came here for several weeks, so I gather if you need it.
I tried for several weeks to get here too. So. It's been a while. So you build your own robots, building stuff?
No robots, but I play with some Raspberry Pis and this kind of projects.
Okay. Arduino?
A little bit, yep. And right now I'm starting a new project with Laura.
Ho, 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 ho.
You're going, Laura, Laura, Laura.
I tell you what.
Attack.
No. No,
It's worth a try.
This little thing right here was going to go onto this.
Well, you'll just have to get another one.
So
That's
what portion of their inventory
It's
did
the
you
1 gig.
get?
The 1 gig was the only one that they had.
Okay.
Is there
Do I?
1, 2, and 4?
What portion of their inventory did you,
Do I have? Do I own?
yeah.
Probably a very small portion, actually.
But overall,
Overall,
oh,
at least I got to set my eyes on it first. USB 3s.
So
sweet.
besides Ivan, everybody else has been here many times?
Yeah,
Many. He's
been here.
He's been here a few times. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what many count or where many. How many mini is.
Hey, Ray, I'm boy.
So,
I know there
if
are
this
some
disappears going around the loop, keep your
it
eye
came back
on.
as a Raspberry Pi 2.
Yes.
They're all in the habit.
Actually, I was hoping that would come back as the 4 gig model. What I mean,
Come back as an empty box model.
Lots of folks are saying don't run it without heat sinks unless
Yeah.
you really have to.
yeah.
I don't.
Oh,
You certainly
speaking
don't get any
of,
performance out of it.
Which one is it?
that's the new model, the 4.
What's new about it?
Oh my lord.
So
Yeah.
what's the power supply requirement for
Also 1 gig
It's
for the
Still.
USB-C.
They got
So
actually
they-
two. They got
They've
two
gotten rid of the
HDMI
micro
ports,
USB
two HDMI
and
ports,
2 amps.
let's
the 2 amps work?
Yeah.
see. Okay, yeah, capability. And not
I-
4K.
I was
I
pretty
think
sure
they
that they
recommend
said
3.
3 amps. Yeah.
Let's say
That's to supply adequate power to the
Yeah.
Two
USB
USB 3, two USB 2,
Yeah.
gigabit Ethernet,
With 3 amps,
HDMI,
that thing's got to
two
be
HDMI
get you
ports,
smoking hot,
up
I
to
would
4K
think.
Well,
P60.
here.
Apparently idles at
1
60
gig
degrees
of
C
DDR4 RAM.
Really?
64-bit
Here.
quad-core
Wow.
8072
because it
Cortex.
doesn't have a heat. It doesn't
That'll
have proper
raise
heat
the
sink.
blister, I'll tell you.
811, BGN-AC,
Here.
Bluetooth 5.
I saw
power
this
over
picture.
Ethernet cable.
I saw this picture today or yesterday. If I could get it.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
what that's actually what they're indicating.
Oh, don't go to sleep on me,
So
phone.
it'll still do.
Oh. This is
Oh my.
that's the 4.
Why I don't do it. That's why I
This
haven't done
is
it yet,
the
'cause I like
3B
being able to do
plus.
this.
That's a lot more heat.
4, 3. That is a hot machine.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't had surgery yet.
Literally.
I actually like being able to do that.
Yeah.
The natural
So yes, I read pretty much the same thing. Run heat sinks.
And that's
Run
even
active
Ivan,
cooling.
do you want to see the?
that looks even hotter than what I was thinking.
Yeah,
So
that,
maybe
it's hot.
Ivan, you plan on coming back?
And
he's-
that was
he's
probably
even
just
bigger
idle,
heat
right?
Yeah, he
Merry Christmas.
doesn't say. I
Robot.
think he was actually stressing.
How much does this cost, Leroy?
$35.
That model is $35.
But
It goes up
for-
to 55.
Yeah, 55 is
For the 4
It has
gig.
a Arduino Uno.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it has the
Not a
HCO5
friendly arm.
Bluetooth.
I think you're right. I think it's just idle.
Really?
Open it up. We want to see.
Yeah, I mean, it
Very
runs
interesting.
hot.
Let's see
idle.
what he's
It runs hot.
Robot.
And it,
I know it's a robot.
I saw an article, a guy was benchmarking it.
And it thermal idles so quickly that, in fact, in some benchmarks, the 3 Plus was
It's got
faster.
a display.
Well, that's
So,
because once it gets hot, it
starts
clocks,
throttling.
it clocks itself down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the benchmarks is that it got as low as 600 megahertz, which is the bottom of the
website,
range.
and it'll give you instructions
So-
that are wrong.
That is quite interesting, though, that it.
Be careful with the instructions. They go to the ultrasonic. It actually shows a picture where the wires are actually back.
It's giving this to
So I got to fix the instructions.
go over road.
Yeah, I think more of the members that have been here for a few years have seen this robot.
I want a robot.
You haven't seen it yet?
I've seen it now.
Oh, this
Here,
robot.
here you go. You get to see it. Here.
Is that?
All
Very
four of them
sweet.
USB 3s?
No, 2 3s and 2 2s.
Okay.
And two
a while back.
4K.
Leroy says I should show it to everybody.
Yeah, it'll run 2 monitors.
2 monitors. That's impressive just by itself.
You can run 2 monitors at 4K.
No, the one that he put together is a video
30
rover.
frames per second.
That's a walrus.
One at 16.
The video rover takes like 16 screws, and it's a lot more complicated.
The audio didn't change.
This
though, I
one
assume,
has
right?
a shield on it. It only takes like 4 screws.
audio.
You can do separate
It's
audio
for
on
the
each
main
HDMI
body.
channel.
You can actually
We only got
assemble
one.
most of the
Yeah,
body
but there's also
very,
audio on
very
the
quickly,
HDMI.
and then all the electronics. You don't have to
Mhm.
disassemble anything ever.
I don't know if it's the same
You
audio.
sell these or something? Is that what you do?
It's got 2
It
HDMI.
looks like the camera connector is identical.
Mhm. And
Ev-
video.
Other than the
650
specs being a lot
$4.
different, the other stuff
It is
should be the
the
same.
goal of the business with Rabbit Robots is to make
So you're
the least
saying that
expensive possible robot.
lid there
while still
will
making some
run
margin
at
for
around
being
60
able to continue
C,
business.
something like that?
And,
That
uh,
lid there that you were
and we're
pointing
trying
at,
to
that
create
should be
robots
for the
that we can
Wi-Fi.
sell to high schools.
No,
They're so
he was pointing to the
expensive that you
CPU.
can
Was
literally give
Wi-Fi.
robots
Oh.
to every student.
Okay.
To
And
the
this
See,
will
I couldn't
take
see where
home
his
some
finger
homework.
was.
They'll learn a lot from it, and at
Wi-Fi,
the end of the
CPU.
semester, they get to keep the robot.
I thought you were pointing at
When
the
you compare
Wi-Fi.
that
Sorry.
to Dex robots, Dex is so expensive. I was just showing that one for a minute.
Okay.
Me?
Yo, where's your protege?
Dude,
I have
it's
no
at my
idea.
kid's house.
Oh, the little, you bought from the little guy, right?
I brought
Yeah,
that
we
one.
Talk about setting up a camera.
Draw for the
people
kid.
out.
Ivan gets to keep
We
his.
did that.
Yeah,
It's really
I-
But
It's a gift for the new guy.
running.
I want to be a new guy.
We could.
Brain dead simple.
That would be. So Leroy says, Ray, every time you come to a meeting, you need to bring a robot. So I'm trying to bring a robot every
But
time.
the stuff I do
I,
with an
Hey, Ray.
I'll buy
So,
it.
I'll stick it in the car, and if you're not around, I'll just give it to him next time I see him.
So I love the automation club, and you know, to me, my family calls it the robot club. Okay. So I'd like to focus it towards that. We all come together, learning and understanding about Raspberry Pi and Arduino, and we share a lot, and we do it because we enjoy it, not because we're trying to make any profit. The trash can transport is really what started everything.
One day that'll be.
It keeps going through iterations.
For us to make sure that everybody's trying to talk on the same level and play with Arduino and stuff, we had several members that did not have any robot stuff. They didn't have an Arduino.
Yeah, that's right.
So to make a kit like this as
It made it
inexpensive as
back.
possible, it helps to bring all of us up to a certain programming point
Oh,
to
I thought
share.
it came around that way.
So
That came this way.
Oh, it came
There's
this
two
way?
different.
whole point of that
No,
is
this
it's
is
they're the same.
this is Ivan.
yeah. So this robot is actually a combination of like
Okay,
3
so
years
where-
of playing
They
and
said
learning.
that was the
Everything
walrus.
over me.
That's going to.
So where's this one go?
That one goes to Ivan.
One goes to Ivan. The other one's
This is
supposed
the
to go to
walrus.
Leroy. Yeah, they're both
Leroy,
walrus.
this is the walrus.
Yes.
They're both walrus. So we started off with a robot that we called the Bitty Rover because it was itty bitty, and it got a lot of changes in the first year, and everybody thought I was just moving at light speed, but I was just trying to keep up with all the suggestions that people gave us. And I designed like 10 more robots. And this one, because of the simplicity and how easy it is to mechanically assemble it, and then later on to add all the electronics without ever disassembling it. That's what made it so much more appealing. And there was this huge drive. Everybody's asking, give us a level 1 robot, something that's easier to do, something we can really start off with.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. So I built up like 30 of them. Had another focus group of college students to look at what other problems we had. And we made some more improvements. So now I've got 20 robots to give away. So I don't want to just show up with 20 robots to give away to everybody, but I do want people to continue coming back to the group and to build a robot and to brag about and share about, hey, what did they do, what they learned, and they feel happy that, hey, I went to a robot meeting, they gave me a robot for no reason. So, the automation club meeting.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah, I've got several of the early prototypes.
Me too. Mine are glued to the wall. I enjoy coming to this so much. My daughter is like, aren't you coming to my swim meet? Is it on Thursday night? Sorry, babe.
Oops.
My,
Somebody failed at
quadcopter,
planning.
by the way, that I was in the tree for 9 months. It's back down, and I flew it to see what's going on in my next door neighbor's yard the other day.
Stuck in the
It's
tree.
back in the tree.
And I flew it over there, and then I flew it way back, and I came back over that tree that it was in, and guess what it did?
Went into the tree.
It landed in the tree. And I hit the right button, home, 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 and it actually didn't get hung this time, and it did come back. And
Oh,
come
wow,
out.
so it got extricated itself from
So,
the
but
tree.
it's the same tree. I mean, it's in the middle of woods. I mean,
Magnetic
it's-
tree.
That makes you want to go and cut that tree down.
No,
There's not just
actually,
one tree there either. There's thousands.
it's an AI, and it's learning.
It's a special magnetic
It-
GPS
yeah.
signal.
That's
It just reaches its arm up and goes, mine. Don't fly over top of me
Don't fly
anymore.
over top of
But
this
it
tree.
survived.
And as I said, the
Control
land
the
button is covered. It's got a cover over it now to keep Jim from pushing it. I didn't push it.
So I've started cleaning out my home lab, and I've got stuff that you'll need. Should I make a list for you, Leroy?
Sure.
How about old computers? Who wants old computers?
Oh,
No, this is like I've got 4 oscilloscopes that are each have less than 5 hours use. Some brand new in the box. A Tektronix, an ON, and
I could use one.
Rigel, and a Hantac, and a Fluke, and I probably have like 8 oscilloscopes. And I've got
That's just at his house.
5 or 6. Yeah, this is at my house. And I probably have 5 or 6 power supplies. They're
Thought I
beautiful,
was
brand new.
bad. I
less than
really
40
did. I really thought I was bad.
I probably have 40 different robots that are not my design. Furbies and make block and
And you're told to clean this out now, huh? Or are you just cleaning it out?
I need to clean
I could definitely use an oscilloscope. There could be some money changing.
it. I got like 8 different ones. I got
But
Fluke and Hantac. I probably won't.
What kind?
I'm probably in a
Most of them are at least 8 years old.
I'm actually
My
giving away
oscilloscope
a
is
bunch of stuff
about
that has some
20
universal
They're older.
because I can
Like
get a
full
tax
source
credit
stuff.
for it.
My oscilloscope
Put
weighs
Linux
about
on
90
there.
pounds.
I don't use it. Some are laptops too. There's stuff that ran XP. At some point in their history, almost all of them ran XP. BK Precision.
I was hoping for.
Oh yeah,
Maybe there's
I
something
used to
that's
have one of
only
those.
been Windows 7. Maybe.
So, it's a tad early. We got anything else going on?
I sent you a copy of the Sony article,
Oh.
mail, if you want to pick that up. I sent
I
it.
got a question that there's a student I know at UC who actually has a job this summer, and she's building a circuit. She's thinking about putting on a printed wiring board. Are there local manufacturers?
Yes.
For printed wiring boards.
Yes.
Give me some names.
I will have to email you because I don't know them off my head. But the Hive has used it someplace. There's like 2. The one place is pretty reasonable and pretty good, especially on proto boards. I can't remember, like Sparks or something.
You're not talking about Spark Fun.
Might be.
Yeah.
In
But,
Colorado, they're not,
no,
they're not
there's-
reasonable, but.
There's a. I know there's someplace
They're
not
not
too
local.
far. It might be Dayton, but
I went to Spark Fun. I don't even like those people.
the
They might have a good product, but I actually went on a tour.
They got good
I don't
marketing
like
department.
but it's a
Why do I know I like them?
not nice.
Honestly, the guy that's in charge is an asshole, and he played a game of paintball with some of his employees, and he lost, so he fired a couple of his employees because he
Lost the paintball.
I'm sorry, you're not a good shot. Okay, grow up and be able to separate business from pleasure
Fun.
and realize there
But
are
now
other people that
I know the
are
Hive
better.
uses for their little weld soldering project
I
their badges that they do for the Maker Faire.
The Hive doesn't do this themselves.
No one aimed that well.
Right. It's that's the same. There's some place here that made that for the Hive, and they were really nice. But
I-13?
yeah, Dave Wonder uses someplace here
There's got
quite a bit.
There's got to be somebody local.
Why are you trying to get local?
This student, well, she's got this job. She's building a circuit, and she wants to consider doing front wire board. And so she asked me, and I said, I know some people who might know. So
Yeah.
I'm asking.
Is he trying to get like a really rough board, or is he trying to get something like screen printing and all?
This is first time, so I think she's just trying to be rough.
I was say, now Dave makes his own boards.
Hmm?
Dave Blunder at the Hive makes his own boards in the basement.
Well, I used to do that, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to,
It's not worth it anymore.
if you want to do etching and drilling and all
It's
that
not
stuff,
worth
you
it
can do
anymore.
it.
You can
It's-
you can get pretty quick, even if you go.
Tab-
you can go to
Tabtronics?
China, you know, you can still get.
Does that sound-
I don't know. It's on the.
There's a Spectrotech.
Turnaround airlines out there. I mean, it's like.
I just know
Yeah,
it's.
it looks beautiful.
I was gonna say, I know it's not very far because
There's
Dave lives
a,
halfway out
Boards,
toward me,
multi-layer, vias,
there's a Beta
screen
Industries.
printing, the
There's
whole
a
And it's actually one.
Oral Electronics.
and they do a pretty nice package deal or something for a proto boarding.
Online. So you go and create your board.
Yeah, you can do 4 PCB,
You get like five
AutoCAD,
prototypes or something for
Eagle
I actually
doesn't
never
exist.
so many bucks.
I never considered doing it local. I always sent out to have it done.
What's that?
I always sent out to have it done to
Yeah,
like
well,
people
that's
in
it.
Florida or whatever.
I don't think Dave does it much on his own anymore, but I know he knows the guys because he's the one that told me about it at Sparks meeting a couple months ago.
This company.
Auto doesn't buy
there's
it,
a-
they'll
if
kill
you
it.
guys know
or what?
anybody who's looking for a job, I
The
have
James
two
Bond
positions
is
open
right.
now.
You know?
Shipping
Did they
clerk
buy it
and
and
a,
kill it? or
Columbus.
did they-
No, it's being integrated
These
into
20 pieces
AutoCAD.
cost
Green.
20
That's all.
I don't think I have it written down on my.
No,
Shipping
nobody
is
bought
$12.
it.
They already had an electrical portion before.
Yeah, they're in China, but
Just,
this
not
company
They
actually
have
has-
had
they have
electrical for a year.
Well, you know, I say that because I
Introduced you to my son.
One of these
Here's
days,
that.
I need to like organize my notes.
They don't.
Yeah,
They don't
well,
really
for
see
this,
a picture of
There's
the.
a
this
time
ad.
in
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
called
I know they
Yeah.
don't pay very much for those badges.
Yeah, that
Even
may
if
be
it's
true.
a bit more baby
I got him on my phone. I could just text him.
Anyway.
ladies that went
Right.
through that.
Uh,
And they just got on each other's.
Being right, you
So
want-
there's
It's,
there's a little bit about that new Sony
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. I heard this out.
long range thingamabob,
It's an option.
long range radio
They're claiming,
thingamabob.
Ivan, they're claiming 60 miles,
Wow.
600 kilometers.
This is Lowry?
No, it's something Sony came up with.
It's proprietary Sony, whatever it
I've
is.
done
60
tours.
miles
I've
on a
done 2
drone?
tours to Europe.
No, 60
No.
miles on a Wi-Fi wireless network.
Oh, I see a drone following behind a car.
Let me see all of it, too.
Well, why not?
I'll put it back, I'll put the link into the next meeting announcement.
Low T.
So
Jim, your logo should
represent the vehicle,
Took
the
13
trees,
days.
then.
13 days.
Yeah, the drone.
Yeah.
But he needs to find some way to put the drone in the tree.
Attention, attention. Yeah, we've lost it. The meeting's over. Go home now.
Did anybody go to the
You come here occasionally.
field day? Did anybody participate?
I come here about
The
every 4 months
the
out of the
hams,
year.
amateur radio field day a couple days ago?
I did not.
I went out to the ham bench.
Hey, does anybody have anything for next week?
Week after next?
Next
Next week we're gonna
next
fireworks.
next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2
fireworks.
weeks from now.
Plenty of time.
2 weeks from now.
I was gonna do an update on my IoT project.
Okay.
Update just to show where I am.
Okay.
As I said, I
Sounds good.
implemented some of the stuff that I've been talking about for, 6 months into the wild.
New features.
No, I'm not new features. I went from the design to the point of now I'm actually utilizing a lot
Is
of.
that just a tilt sensor?
So,
It's a heavy duty tilt sensor?
but I did based
Yeah,
on
you
your
guessed it.
comments. I
You
did
got the
pull
best
everything
guess.
locally
What?
and- which helped me.
Tilt
Helped
sensor.
me
It's-
a lot because
that's
I
what it
pulled
was,
locally, so I
right.
didn't
It's
have
the
to
heavy
deal
duty
with
tilt sensor.
the Azure stuff.
Nobody else has it like that.
Twenty acres.
Oh, that's crazy.